my beautiful garden friends, and welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name's Juanita. I do a lot of DIY projects and gardening, but primarily I just love getting up, getting out, and getting active, and hopefully to inspire you to do the same. So welcome. Now, I'm bringing Brad with me on this video. Not entirely all of it, but just at the beginning, because we have a big life update, and that's what this is all about. But for those of you that have been following me for a long time know that we have our house up in the market. And we have had it, and we've been looking for a place for probably, what, a couple years, would you say?
At least.
At least. That's when we first got the seed of moving. And I have to say that I never in my wildest dream ever imagined ever moving out of this house. I really kind of considered this house as our forever home. And then one day we just both agreed.
We ran out of room.
Oh yeah,
ran out of garden space.
Yeah, I pretty much ran out of garden space. So I need more garden space. So we are here to announce that we sold our home.
We did.
We sold our home.
Even better than that.
We found 5 acres. So we are moving out kind of in the country. I don't know if anyone has ever heard of Deer Island, Oregon, but it's about an hour away from here. So that's where we're going, and we're both extremely excited. And it's going to have a lot of great gardening opportunities for me. It's going to have
a whole new chapter.
Yeah, just a whole new chapter, a new journey. I personally have lived out in the woods before, so I know what it's like for, living out in the countryside. Of course, this is going to be a little bit more different because this one's more open in comparison to what I've grown up in or have lived in the past. But it's going to be a whole new chapter for us, and we're both beyond excited now.
And nervous.
Yeah, and very nervous. Oh my gosh. So we right now are in the packing mode, and that is the reason why I haven't been posting. Between showing the house, between buying a house and doing all that house hunting and actually finding a buyer and doing inspections, and you guys probably know the drill if you've ever bought and sold a home, so I won't go into all the details, but
there are a lot of them.
It's a lot of work. A lot more work than I think either one of us ever imagined. I mean, I've sold homes before. I've lived in homes. I bought and sold homes. But for some reason, this home has a lot more to it than any other home I've ever had and moved out of. So it's been a
and
journey.
You don't really realize that till you try putting it all in boxes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm sure you guys would agree that when you look at your home, you think, no, piece of cake, we can just throw those in the box and we're good to go. But once you dive into it,
the cake's really big.
The cake becomes really big.
But luckily we have time to do it, right?
Yeah, we have time because as it turns out, the home that we purchased, which I'm really excited to show you guys that piece of land. And I will be doing it after on the next video or two because I'm really super excited. So what I'm going to do on the future videos is kind of give you a tour of what the new property looks like at the stage that we were at when we were doing the inspections. But I will give you a walkabout on that on a separate video. But for today, what I want to do is give you a tour of what my yard looks like today, because what were empty spots are no longer empty spots. This garden has filled every...
Completely, huh? I'm looking around here and
yeah.
Everything's just exploded.
Everything's exploded. Everything is just...
So we got to mention that we can't move into the new place. The owners of the place that we bought said you can't move in until after we're done harvesting our bees.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is a couple of months.
Yeah, so we won't technically be moving until June 30th at 5 o'clock. That's when we're going to take our first load, which is going to be all of my gardening stuff and maybe blankets and something to spend the night there. But yeah, we're super excited. So we have plenty of time. Now, the people that purchased our home are coming from, I believe, New Mexico. And so when we sold the home, being that this home that we purchased, we couldn't move into it right away, which has been a blessing, really, because when you
It's us time.
when we look around of how much we packed prior to showing and posting our home for sale to what we're packing now, we definitely need that time. And this way we can leisurely kind of do it. But we're hoping to have everything packed by the end of May, and then we can kind of relax and let our hair down a little bit for the month of June and maybe actually breathe. But I'm going to continue to do gardening here, so I will take you through that journey. I know that some people have approached me and said, well, why would you continue gardening if you're sold a place? Well, the simple and best answer for that is because I take pride in my yard. I take pride in every single plant that I've ever planted in this yard. And for that reason, I want to leave the new owners with something that I find that is beautiful, and I think they will love it as well. I mean, if they could see what this yard looks like from the time that they looked at it in the winter months, it would be mind-blowing to them, because
They knew we had a nice yard.
Yeah.
But they didn't know how nice, because it was, was it even spring? I don't think
no,
so.
no.
So there was, none of the explosion of plants and flowers and everything. So when they see this property, they're gonna say, glad that it's more valuable than what we thought.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They're either gonna say, "Oh my gosh, I've got a lot of plants to take care of," or they're gonna say, "Wow, the yard is beautiful."
Yeah.
If they are watching, if you are watching, just know that every plant here is very low maintenance, and the irrigation, as I will mention later, is all hooked up. So that is why my yard has exploded with plants. But I am going to continue basically maintaining it and continue to trim what's necessary to trim as we move forward into June, and continue to love it until the last day. And I will bring you on the last walk of this whole yard so that we could do that together. But I just wanted, or we wanted, actually, it was not just me on this, it's both Brad and I, we're partners in this, and
Congratulations.
yeah, we're excited. We're excited, and yeah. So let me show you what the yard looks like, and I really hope you enjoyed this, and what a relief, to finally put this out there. And now I did take the sign down quite a long time ago, so I won't show you the for sale sign on that it's been sold, because I had it removed during the house showings because it really wasn't serving any purpose. Basically, the people that were coming over were people that were just interested in and curious as to what the property looked like, and so we just had them remove it and just do it through the advertisements that are online, and didn't have a problem with obviously selling our house. So yeah, feels so good to get this off of our chest. Okay, he's gonna go get back to packing. I'm gonna show you the yard. So I'm gonna start from my driveway, as I always do, and then I'm gonna work my way back over this way and around to the back. Now, my yard is not looking very pretty because I am in packing mode, as I mentioned earlier. But what I really want to show you is how full my yard is, especially for those of you that have been following me and have seen the transformation of this yard over the last 4 years. I used to have a lot of empty spaces, and in the winter time, there's a ton of empty spaces. and now it is so packed full that I barely can see any ground. Now I'm not going to go over all the names of the plants or anything because I've done that time and time again, but I will point out some of the plants that suffered a lot over the winter months to kind of give you an update on those plants. But yeah, so let's get started with this. Okay, so like I said, this is my driveway going forward. And yeah, as you can see, there's not hardly any empty spaces whatsoever. Right over here, as I mentioned, is my Jupiter's beard, lilies, and a bunch of other beautiful plants. But right here is the hot lip salvia that I had talked about that really suffered over the winter months. And look at how beautiful it's doing. When I say that hot lip salvias are very resilient, this is the proof of the pudding, if you will. And I've also had questions about weeds and how I take care of them. So I want to address that while I'm here too. But typically I don't get any weeds in any of my garden beds whatsoever. What I do get are little tree starters like this. And it's from the squirrels coming in, or they just get seeded from the maple tree and the mimosa trees. I will get clippings of this. I will also get just a little bit of morning glory, and maybe a tinge of grass. But all this stuff, because this has been mulched over and over again, these things here are like extremely easy to pull out, especially when the ground is wet. So what I do in springtime when it's rained and then the ground is moist, I go out and I pull what weeds there are. I didn't do a real good job this spring, but that's why I have these. But once I do that, then it's pretty much taken care of. I don't use chemicals or anything like that. I will put in the description area a recipe that's a natural recipe for killing weeds. Also, hot water, boiling hot water will kill weeds as well. But I did put a lot of steppable moss in here, so I do have that, and I leave that. But I will get like little things like this that seed out. But again, they're very easy to pull out when the ground is moist. And then I will get periodically some dandelion like this. But as you can see, it pulls out a little bit of grass that comes from the neighbors. This is the type of grass that seeds, and this one will spread. So just keep in mind. And then again, I have this morning glory. So that's what I do, is I just pull them out. So outside of that, I really don't get any weeds throughout my gardens. I just get cuttings or seedlings from either new growth from the Jupiter's beard, the maple tree up here. This one will seed out. My mimosa trees here will seed out and drop some stuff. And of course the squirrels will bring in their nuts and bury them, and then they grow over the winter months. But primarily, if I'm going to get any weeds, it's through here. Very minimal. I don't understand why I don't get weeds. Maybe it's because I heavily mulch, so keep that in mind. Mulch heavily, and that'll also keep weeds. And then if you pack your plants fairly, you want to leave room for your plants when you plant them. But if you plant them with room to grow, it'll also the root system will also choke out any weeds, and that may have a lot to do with it too. Anyway, so let me just give you a quick walk. But look at my President Clematis. Isn't that just gorgeous? Oh my gosh. And then here's my other hot lip salvia that really suffered. I took it down almost to nothing, and look at how large that is. So yeah, hot lip salvia, very resilient. Highly recommend those. And then, of course, I've got a lot of daylilies and my Brenras and a lot of kind of Hanacola grasses, and yeah. And look at how large this stonecrop sedum is now. Isn't that just gorgeous? Hopefully you guys can see this and it's not too shadowed from the sun. Now, I will be taking a lot of pots. I will be taking some plants with me. I haven't figured out which ones, but yeah. And then the other thing I also get is I will get grape hyacinth, that seed out too. But yeah, this is what my garden looks like right now. It's so full. And everything's coming into bloom. Both of the large leaf maple are coming into bloom. I also wanted to point out this because this I had mentioned on the spring walkabout, how my Jscursions over here are very resilient. They pop back up and they do fine. And now you can see that they are doing perfectly fine. My spot-ons are doing great. I do have my irrigation on, so it is getting consistent watering. Things are just starting to really bloom. I need to still take off my daffodils over here. I also want to point out, I went and divided my spiderwort over here. Look at how beautiful these flowers are. And this is also a very resilient plant too. I really absolutely love it for that reason. That was one of them here. And here's the other chunk that I planted over in this side, and it is doing beautiful. Now come springtime, because of my mimosa tree, it will give this a lot of shade, which is perfect for summer months because it'll give it the damp lighting that it requires to keep them beautiful and full. But it's gonna keep them from that heat of that afternoon sun. And so that is kind of nice. Plus the fence kind of shelters it too. But look at my white blanket. This is a climbing rose, and look at how many buds that thing has. I mean, it really needs a haircut, but I'm gonna wait till it blooms. But right now it's sheltering my fern, a rhododendron that didn't get to bloom because the sun has been blocked. But my Miss Piggies are all doing great. This is I will put the name down because I forget the name of this, but I will be taking this pot as well as my rocks. I know my property's going to have a lot of rocks, but nevertheless, I want to take my rocks. And then, as you can see now, this is doing fantastic. This is my fuchsia, and it's doing fantastic. The souls are doing great. These are Dahlia de Sols. I will be taking one of them. I will be taking this pot along with me, but look at all my daylilies. They're looking gorgeous. And I had mentioned how this Japanese maple got damaged when they were doing the wall, but look at how beautiful that wall looks with all the flowers now. Isn't that gorgeous? But yeah, now it looks beautiful. Can't even tell that there was any damage at all. Over on this side, I've got my Boulevard Clematis over here. That's all in bloom. Isn't that just gorgeous? I want to get another one. I'm going to leave it. As much as I don't want to leave it, I will be leaving it. And then this spiderwort, which is the other one that I took out and planted in here. Look at how gorgeous that's doing. Just doing fantastic. A lot of people claim that this is invasive. I've never had it be invasive. It's always just grown in a clump, and it continues to expand as a clump. It doesn't get new growth through the rhizome, and that's what kind of causes plants to be more invasive and choke out other plants, is through the rhizome, and this doesn't do that. So I just wanted to point that out. It just depends. If it's native to this area, then it might be, but basically I have not had an issue with it. So anyway, so Miss Piggy right here just finished blooming. It's really beautiful when it's in bloom. It's come to its end, but they still make for beautiful cut flowers and for dried flowers in a vase. This one in particular didn't bloom this year, but a lot of it's because it's being shaded. But yeah, consistent watering really makes a big difference when it comes to your garden. If your plants get consistent watering, even if it's minimal, your plants are going to thrive and they're going to expand and fill out a garden and look absolutely gorgeous. My butterfly bush here bounced back over the winter months. It's doing fantastic. My Helleborus are doing fantastic. And I believe this is a coral heuchera, which is also doing really great. I will be taking some of these plants that are near the wall because the inspector said that they were too close to the wall. So just so that, you know, it gives the new owner something to plant or to keep it away, I just thought I'd go ahead and take my yarrow and probably my sea lavender. And, but yeah. And this rose bush, I'm going to also take out because it really is not in the right area. It really needs more sun, and it's a beautiful rose bush. It's a very old rose bush, and it really is misplaced, so I probably will go ahead and take that with me. Right here is my Petaurus. This is going to start really taking off and climbing up this tree, this holly tree, which is what I intended to block off the neighbors. This is filled out just as I had hoped it would do. Yeah, so this is what my garden looks like right now. Now, the one thing that I want to point out also, now I will be taking this Jupiter's beard because it's in a container, and I'm taking all my containers. But this group right here of hostas, now come summertime, I'm hoping that they don't get damaged. But, of course, that's for the new owners to do as they will. But these ones are going to get really affected probably over the summer months because this is now not as shaded now that I don't have my butterfly shrub. But now you can see my butterfly shrub. That was a tree. And look at how healthy that is. Let me bring you up close. But, yeah, got room here for the new owners to plant if they want. A lot of great plants now. My blue angel over here is really going to get just as large as these ones right here, which I will be taking my whirlwind because it's in a container. But this is an Eden, a guacamole, and then I'm not 100% sure. Now this one really needs to be divided. Actually, all three of them probably could use some division, but I'm not gonna bother with that. But yeah, look at this butterfly. What was a tree and now a shrub. But look at how healthy it looks, and it's doing fantastic. Now, when you spray, if you've been following me, if you haven't seen that video, I'll put it up here, right up here in the corner. But when you spray it for insects or moisture, you may want to do it after it rains again. You know, just keep an eye on it. If you have an issue with a tree that you need to chop down but don't want it damaged, yeah, just keep that in mind. But yeah, it's doing great. It's going to bloom. It's going to look beautiful. My, this is I don't know what this is. I'm going to guess that it's a golden carpet spirea. This has been in this yard forever, and I've mentioned that many, many times. So yeah, I don't know what it's called because it's been here forever. But yeah, this one suffered a lot with the sun, the morning sun, and I can see that there's already a little bit of too much heat on it. But we'll just see what happens. The voodoo lily over here, I took out quite a few of them out. Not by the root itself or the actual seed itself, but just the foliage of it because they were really just flopping over. But there's a couple of really strong stems on this one. I may go ahead and dig it out. And then plant it in my new yard because I do like the plant and it does really smell, and they probably will pull it out anyway. So might as well take it with me and take the seed pods. But yeah, it's doing great. It's going to bloom. I will be taking the seedium with me as well. Maybe. I will be taking this. I mentioned this several times. And as you can see, we got quite a bit of stuff yet to go through. I will be taking my tree here. I do have to mention that my flowering maple did not make it. And I was really sad, and I had it for 5 years and it was doing just great. But for some reason, this winter was just too harsh and it killed it. St. John's wort really damaged that as well, but it's coming back to life, so it's going to do just fine. I did plant a Miss Piggy here, which is looking really well. And then, of course, the Hanacola grass. This one, when it gets a lot of shade, as you can see, it turns really green. So just keep that in mind, that if the more shade it gets, the greener it is. The more sun it gets, then it'll be a lot lighter in color. I will be taking my Komodo dragon because that's going to get 7 feet by 7 feet, and I really want to take that with me, and as well as probably my June hosta and also my blue ivory over there. Otherwise, I'm going to leave the rest over here, but you can see how well they're doing. I will be taking that as well. But yeah, everything's looking beautiful. Getting my first rose over here, my Shuhuli rose bush. As you can see, I'm getting some new buds, which is so exciting. And then, of course, I'm going to be taking all of my wall things. I may leave the birds. Not 100% sure, but any decorations, I definitely will. Right here is a trumpet, an orange trumpet, which is doing fantastic. And then let me back up here. My black lace elderberry is all coming into bloom, and it is gorgeous. And it did maintain more of a tree form, which is exactly what I wanted to happen, because it really otherwise would shade the bottom plants way too much, because this whole area here gets really good afternoon sun. Pretty much from about right here on over is where it gets full sun. The rest pretty much stays kind of like what you see. It'll be a lot more shaded too. This is my broomstruck hydrangea. I'm going to miss that thing because I've nursed it to death over the years, and it's doing fantastic. I'm so happy that survived the winter and it's coming into bloom. And last, I want to show you the hot lip sylvia. I took it down to almost nothing, as some of you have seen. And yeah, that is coming back. I do get some seedlings here from, I don't know, whatever. I don't know, a little bit of weeds. Those are very easy to pull out. The more you mulch, the easier it is to pull out any type of weeds, especially when there's moisture. My yarrow here is getting nice and big and gorgeous. And my Jscursions pot of gold is also doing fantastic this year. Russian sage is getting nice and full over here. I did end up losing my parahebes that I planted last year. Was very saddened about that. Yeah, everything else is doing great. My California lilac is in bloom, coming out in bloom, and it is going to be absolutely gorgeous. I did take both of my lights that were kind of like a flower lights. I don't know if anybody ever noticed them, but I did take them. I'm taking them with me. I'm also taking the stained glass that are here. So those will be going with me. But because I took those things down, a lot of the plants kind of flopped down a little bit. Mainly the Tanga clematis. But look at how gorgeous this is. Let me bring you up close because look at how gorgeous this is. These are getting bigger and bigger in flower, and they are just absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful. Let me take you over to the other side because this ones are even larger. And so I did flop these down a little bit, but that's okay. It'll be fine. The new owners can vine them back up in place if they want to, or trim them down. But yeah, look at how gorgeous that is. I wish I could take this with me, but it would be way too much work to disturb this. Look at how gorgeous that is. Be way too much work. I can always get another one. I do want to mention that this particular clematis over here, that this one actually is not that cheap. I can't remember what I got them, but I want to say they were like $25 a piece. That was my most expensive clematis yet, but definitely worth having. But yeah, Brad put out a lot of my garden things so that I can actually sift through them and see what I'm going to take, what I'm not going to take. The star jasmine over there also got affected this winter and died, as well as my plant. Now I will be taking all of my hostas here, mainly because when they were doing the inspection, excuse my tripod, but when they were doing the inspection, they talked about how this was maybe affecting the foundation, which is not whatsoever, because there's nothing underneath there. There's no, I mean, there's a wall, but it's got a barrier. It's not affecting anything. This pot has been here since day one that I've, over 17 years. This plant here, several of you that have been following me for a long time, I did trim it quite a bit in the springtime. This is so slow growing. I think it's grown maybe a foot, maybe a foot and a half in probably 17 years. So it's very slow growing. So I doubt that the root system is damaging anything. But yeah, there's nothing underneath this whole porch area. And this is all concrete, and it hasn't damaged anything on this concrete steps. So I just wanted to point that out. But as you can see, I still have my canvas walls up. I will bring you to actually taking that down, because I really need to take it down and just, put them together aside for the new owners. But yeah, another video. But yeah, that's where that is. Back here, I do get some weeds. But again, it's always just in this rock path. And they're either seedlings from that, got pollinated over here or something. But again, they're very easy to pull out. On my lawn here, this lawn is fescue, which is fantastic lawn. If you're ever in the market for lawn, this is fantastic lawn because it will take the sun as well as the shade, and it always stays green. I mean, in the winter months, this looks like crap. It almost looks like it all died, but it bounces back beautifully every year, and it stays green all summer long. So if the new owners are watching, this is what you need to know. But yeah, these are very easy to pull out. And again, you can put hot water on it. You could do the mixture that I'll put down in the description area that is eco-friendly, or you can pull them out in the springtime and then you're done. But yeah, let's see. The last thing I wanted to mention was there was something. Oh, my clematis, both my Nellie Moser and Lissa Splat. The Lissa Splat is in bloom. Look at how gorgeous and large that bloom is now. Of course, I'm going to move, and the first time that it's actually gotten the 6-inch diameter that I said that it was going to get. Now, the Nellie Moser has one bloom. Let me see if I can reach it. It's facing the neighbor, of course, but yeah. I don't know if you can see that, but that's where that is. So I will be leaving those. Probably go ahead and leave the trellis as well, but the ladybugs are going with me. Okay, guys, I'm gonna just walk you right back around. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.